up, my people? Welcome back to the channel for another album review. I'm your boy Isimo the Dream. If you are new to the channel, just go right on ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell as well to always keep notified on my newest content. And today we will be taking a look at the newest Bleachers self-titled album. The prolific back-to-back Grammy-winning producer, the New Jersey man himself, Jack Antonoff, aka Bleachers, continues to bring us new tunes with what's now the fourth chapter to his story. I personally think it's a bit gratuitous at this point if you clicked on this video and you're not familiar with the amount of success that Jack has achieved and enhanced over the years, but just to be sure, here's a look at everything. This is pretty much living proof of why he's continuously getting producer of the year back to back. And rightfully so. The precision in his mastering skills is just exquisite, and in the most recent years have blossomed with so much color and beauty. And if we're gonna predict expectations based off the latest record from Bleachers, Take the Sadness Out of Saturday, I'd say they're quite high. We're gonna begin my thoughts with the record sonically. A lot of what's presented comes very directly from the previous LP that I just mentioned. And it's a guaranteed notion that the record does take these influences a step further and explores even deeper into the capacity of these ideas. And a lot of what's crafted on here is done really well in the most subtle ways. Mostly impressed with the highest fashion with the automations, the unique reverbs and delays, the warmness of the atmospheres, and the best setting needed. However, I'd like to make a point that the biggest difference are the ones that involve the consistency. You tend to get this hot and cold pattern throughout the midpoint of the album. And to counter that, it does work in context with these profound concepts and perceptions coming from Jack that I found very intriguing, which I'll get to in a minute. And I think it's also important to mention that the dynamic does quickly shift back into gear when we get back to the last few tracks, starting with Call Me After Midnight. This track wonderfully expresses the love for 80s R&B and pop and new wave aesthetics, while brilliantly showcasing a wondrous instrumental talent and play of an idea. But in truth, at times, these exceptional productional moments weren't enough to elevate the entirety of some of these songs. Just throughout this midpoint, it could just get too campy, and I also felt that there was just quite simply too many moments that had abrupt endings that really needed more extension and momentum brought to it. Another counter that I would like to bring to these pointers, moving on with the concepts that I found written in the lyricism that were absolutely moving. Jack is essentially showing us a side of him that shows and displays his humanity to the listener in order to show the light within someone. He is giving us a lot of deep, dark notions revolving around loneliness, self-reflection, self-esteem, and just simply perception of change and its effect on oneself. Jesus is Dead is a track that delivers in this fashion of grief over the cultural changes in New York from the 2000s. Jack is seen on here bringing up old memories of the DFA, which was an old label back in the 2000s, bringing like other bands like Long Wave and club locations like Mishaps. Jack is expressing how he feels like the total image in parts of New York have totally reshaped, and also coming to an agreement and also expressing some sadness that era is pretty much over. I love the way he expresses this sort of grief with this excerpt through a crescendo of jazz horns. It really does display the empathy well. And I also enjoyed a notion that had this celebration of the ugly raw nature in somebody that only displays the positives in a relationship. Jack is seen inserting a quote on one of the tracks that I personally felt provided a sense of self-hope, like from professional skater Rodney Mullen. He's here expressing himself about the ability to endure pain and struggle in order to become better, and not because of the fact that one person is special than the other. No, quite frankly, he's actually doing the opposite, actually saying that we're all ordinary, we are all built the same way, we are also just at a point aware of our own potential, and some people are just willing to work to the bone to reach that. This idea is even more cemented into the theme of the record with the closer. Jack is here just presenting a vulnerable side of him in himself to prove that he himself is also human and ordinary, this person that we just look up to and just see so much immense power and talent that like he is above a human species. He made it very clear that he wants to tell the listener that he is just like us, he was just like us beginning and not perfect even to this day, and that's like a way for him to open a door to somebody that this can happen for you too. And that you shouldn't sell yourself short out of fear, but instead an ambition of becoming better in the most healthy, humanly way possible. And I found that to be not just endearing, but significant and inspiring. Ultimately, I do wish there was a stronger, more consistent approach with the mixing and mastering choices, and along with the effects to better immerse the listener, new and old, in a consistently fresh instance. But there's no denying the growth and talent glowing from Jack from this LP, continuously building this expectation from collaborating and producing with such high-class talents, which, if isn't obvious already, is inevitably creating this doubt that there will be a misstep or just some imbalance of sorts in the future. Which there's always going to be that. Not every artist is going to be consistent or perfect every time. He is showing that in this, with my personal opinion, but that does not greatly subdue my thoughts on this album, nor does it diminish any of the thoughts that I have on Jack himself. I appreciated songs like Modern Girl that beautifully shadows a lot of Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire, structurally at least. He adds this originality to it that is just so fun, and I love the approach in making a loud rock pop piece with exhilarating jazz horns and solos, but also appreciated the vulnerable moments like Me Before You that shed gray matter of deep dark loneliness that is washed away with the discovery of comfort from a loved one. So no, I don't think this has the same power and stride that Take the Sadness Out of Saturday's showcase, but this is still a great display of excellence from Jack. I'm gonna give Bleachers' self-titled album a 74%. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, go and like, share, and comment down below of what you thought of this record. Do not forget to check out the description for all my separate tracklist ratings for the album, more videos, and also links to my social media accounts so you can keep with me on the daily. I'm gonna catch you in the next one. 1, 2, 3, deuces.